again. Thankfully, that time is in the past. I sought help and am now happily married to the love of my life, with our first child on the way. Story 100. When I was 18, I had a moment of madness. For no reason that I truly know of, I decided to tell one of my friends that I thought her friend was cute. I did not at all. I don't know what compelled me to say it, but as I spent time with him, I fell in love. I don't think I ever looked at his face and thought, my God, he's attractive. But I did start to want his hands on me, and I was madly attracted to his forearms. It ended up being my first stable relationship after years of being on and off with the first guy I dated. I was devastated when we broke up. Even to this day, when I come across a picture that has been tucked away and forgotten, I don't see anything in his face that I find attractive. But those arms, I would still find those forearms appealing. Story 101. The relationship was really good, and he has all the qualities I was looking for. Kindness, knowledge, survival skills, and the ability to listen. For kids later, we have had our troubles, but I love him. Story 102. I need to be attracted to a man's looks, and then I need to know he is attracted to my looks. That's why online dating isn't working for me. The men it's showing me have too many of my deal breakers in terms of physical appearance. I will chat with anyone, but if I cannot envision being naked with them or feel a desire to be naked with them, then I see no reason to pursue it further. Personality is not enough for me. Story 103, yes, I have. He was nice and caring. I left him because he was not my first choice. He didn't deserve me treating him that way by leaving him as my second option. Story 104. I wasn't good at saying no, and she was fun. Unfortunately, you can't think your way out of a lack of attraction. In retrospect, it's either there from the beginning or it isn't, in my opinion. I'm saving these lessons for my next life. Story 105. Yes, most of my relationships were influenced by my low self-esteem. I believed I should date someone in my league. And with a skewed perception of myself, I often avoided pursuing attractive people. Whenever someone attractive showed interest in me, I assumed it was a joke. Additionally, I aimed to date people for their personalities. However, this approach often falls short if there is little to no physical attraction involved. Story 106. A person I was with gained weight, and I became unattracted to her while we were together. I stayed for a while because of her personality, but I eventually realized she was never going to get back on track. Story 107. He was not attractive to me, had poor hygiene, was a chauvinist, a know-it-all unemployed due to a car accident claim, smoked, and treated me poorly, eventually breaking my arm. I was with him because I had low self-esteem. Story 108. Yes, he was older, in his 30s, and I honestly thought he was cute at first. However, over time, the attraction faded, and I found it hard to be around him anymore. We ended things amicably. Story 109. I am going through the motions right now. I don't find her overly physically attractive. I've never looked at it as a defining factor. However, I've come to realize we are not on the same wavelength. Having to explain all my statements or thoughts to her is more exhausting than the benefits of being with her. It's hard as she doesn't even know I feel this way yet, but I recognize it's emotionally draining for both of us. I believe it will be better in the long run for us. In conclusion, even when you think something might feel right, it is not always the right thing to do, at least for me. Story 110. I have been in a friends with benefits situation with someone I did not find attractive, but we had a good friendship and decent intimacy. I also had a friends with benefits relationship with a larger woman whom I found attractive. However, I would never engage in a committed relationship with someone who is obese. While I can be friends with them and appreciate their efforts to lose weight, if those efforts do not yield results, it is difficult for me to feel proud of dating them. If I feel ashamed to be seen with them and do not find their body attractive due to obesity, it is unfair to both of us. Story 111. Most men you ask will either be in that relationship currently or have been in the past. Unlike women, there aren't people lined up waiting for their turn, so the person who is interested in you could be the only person ever to be interested. You either disregard your attraction to avoid being alone forever or accept your standards along with the loneliness. Story 112. My wife and I have been together for 8 years. I am a tall, slender white man, and my preference has always been for petite women. However, my wife is a voluptuous Mexican woman. We met on a dating site when I was inexperienced with dating, but I found her to have a beautiful face. My initial plan was to build my confidence by practicing my communication skills with her. We now have a child, a dog, and a cat, but she has yet to tell me that I am ready to find another woman, so here I remain. Story 113. I was feeling lonely for a few months and met a woman who was overweight. I normally wouldn't date someone with her weight, but I gave it a chance since I was lonely. However, I eventually broke up with her after I got it out of my system. Story 114. I was forced into a father-son relationship with my dad. I guess I'm not attracted to that. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.